What if World War III almost started and no one remembers why it didn't? In the middle of the Cold War, nuclear missiles were ready. Radars were flashing warnings. Commanders believed the attack had already begun, and yet the world survived. Not because of a president, not because of a general, but because of one man who chose not to follow orders. This is the forgotten Cold War story of the man who stopped World War III. By the late 1970s, the Cold War had reached a terrifying stage. The United States and the Soviet Union were no longer just enemies. They were nuclear shadows, watching each other constantly. Both sides believed the other was preparing a surprise nuclear strike. Missiles could be launched in minutes. There would be no time to confirm. That meant one thing: a single mistake could end civilization. This era was defined by a doctrine known as mutually assured destruction, or MAD. It's a chillingly simple idea. If one side launches its nukes, the other side will detect the launch and fire back before the first missiles even land. The result would be total annihilation for everyone. The only thing preventing this was a fragile system of early warning satellites and radars. Each country built massive, complex networks designed to detect an incoming attack with just minutes to spare. But what if that system made a mistake? In this high-stakes game of nuclear chicken, there was no room for error. The survival of humanity rested on the flawless performance of technology and the perfect judgment of the people who watched it. The world was balanced on a knife's edge, and every single second counted. One night, deep inside a Soviet early warning bunker, alarms suddenly began to scream. On September 26, 1983, at the Serpukov 15 Command Center near Moscow, the silence was shattered. According to the brand new satellite system, American nuclear missiles had been launched. Red lights flashed across the consoles, screens filled with blaring warning signals. The system was screaming one word: ATTACK. The protocol for this exact situation was crystal clear, drilled into every officer. If the system detected an incoming strike, the on-duty commander was expected to report it up the chain of command immediately. That report would go straight to the top military and political leadership, who would then have only minutes to decide whether to launch a full-scale retaliatory strike. There was no time for deliberation, no room for doubt. The procedure was designed for speed, because speed meant survival. As far as everyone in that room was concerned, World War III wasn't just seconds. A wait had already started. The officer on duty that fateful night was Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov. As the chaos erupted around him, with sirens wailing and subordinates panicking, Petrov stared at the data and felt something was deeply wrong. The system was reporting only a few missiles, 5 to be exact. That made no sense to him. He knew his enemy. If America were to launch a first strike, a decapitation attack designed to win a nuclear war, it wouldn't be with a handful of missiles. It would be an overwhelming, all-out assault involving hundreds, maybe thousands, of warheads to cripple the Soviet response. 5 missiles was not a war, it was an anomaly. But the computer was certain. The data was clear. Every light, every screen was telling him the unthinkable was happening. Petrov had seconds to decide. Should he follow the system, the protocol he was trained to obey without question? Or should he trust his instincts, a gut feeling that stood against the cold, hard logic of the machine? Petrov made a choice that went against his training, against protocol, and against the overwhelming fear gripping the bunker. He picked up the phone to his superiors and reported the alarm as a false warning. He declared it a system malfunction. It was an incredible gamble. If he was wrong, his decision would have doomed his country, allowing American missiles to strike without any retaliation. The minutes that followed must have been the longest of his life. He and his team watched their screens, waiting for the telltale signs of nuclear detonations on Soviet soil. But nothing happened. The sky remained dark. The world remained intact. A short time later, it was confirmed. Petrov's gut feeling was right. The early warning system had misinterpreted the glint of sunlight reflecting off high-altitude clouds as the engine flare of Minuteman nuclear missiles. The apocalypse had been avoided silently because one man dared to believe his own judgment over the certainty of his technology. Petrov was not celebrated as a hero. He was not given a medal or paraded through Red Square. Instead, he was intensely questioned. His superiors grilled him for weeks. While he was ultimately not punished, he was certainly not praised. His decision, though correct, had revealed a glaring flaw in their multi-billion-ruble defense system. He had violated procedure, and in the rigid structure of the Soviet military, that was a serious offense. He was blamed for the stressful incident and for the gaps in the official logs he failed to fill out during the crisis. Quietly, he was reassigned to a less sensitive post and later took early retirement. His story, the night he single-handedly prevented a global nuclear catastrophe, remained classified for over a decade. The man who saved the world received no reward. He faded into obscurity, a forgotten footnote in a war that never was. The most terrifying part of this story is not the fallible technology or the Cold War paranoia. It's the simple, chilling fact that human survival once depended entirely on one tired man in one room on one night. It rested on his intuition, his skepticism, and his courage to say no when every system was screaming yes. We often remember history for its great battles and its famous leaders. But sometimes, the most important victories are the ones that happened in silence. The wars that were never fought. Stanislav Petrov's story is a stark reminder that in our complex, automated world, the final defense against our own destruction might just be a moment of human doubt. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as incredible as I did, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more hidden histories. See you next time.